Greetings, everybody. Found another spot to walk. Still out by my lake. I gotta be by my lake, but this one goes off of a power line access road there. Kind of a neat little walk. Been enjoying it. Haven't done a video for a little bit. You won't notice that because I'm doing quite a few of them to stock them up before I can start. That way, in case I do miss a week, it won't be a big deal because I've got one that I can still post. Again, my channel is open, honest, and you get what I get. I don't edit, I don't change it. I just tell you like it is, the way I think, the way I perceive things and whatever. Partly to preserve it for my daughter, partly to just put it out there and say, this is what I'm thinking. You know, lots of different things. Well, today's topic is, well, let's face it, living paycheck to paycheck is one thing. But when you're living paycheck to almost paycheck, which is probably where most of us live, I don't know that it's as bad as where I'm at right now. I mean, past 3 pay periods, I guess, I've been negative in the bank before my check gets there, so half my check, well, not half, but $200 to $300 of it is already gone by the time the check gets deposited, so, I'm just that far under. And I don't do extravagant stuff. I don't, I've got a $250 car payment, a $650 mortgage payment. And I do have a $270 HOA, which is ridiculous, but, it's like, I don't go out all the time, and I spend maybe $400 on groceries a month, and the money just goes away. Yeah, I've got storage units, I've got, things like that, but again, it's just I'm trying to get where I can have property and trying to figure out my life. And look at all this manzanita, isn't that just gorgeous? Trying to figure out what's best. Wild strawberries, really cool. Just trying to figure out what's best for my 7-year-old daughter and myself and my wife. And it's just, you ever really feel like we just totally massively overcomplicate life? I do. I know I do it. I do it all the time. I always, just make things so complicated. It's like, just shut up. Just look at what you got. Look at where you are. I mean, yeah, you're struggling financially. Whose fault is that? Your own. It's not because of anything. It's just because you've made choices that cost you money. So look at this little area, pretty little area in through here. I don't know what they probably had trucks that they parked in here and stuff and whatever for doing stuff, but now it's just got all these pretty little spots. This is life, this is how simple life is. Take a walk in the woods. That's how simple life is. Look for some berries, look for plants to use. We used to do it all the time. Chuck Chancy's used to use acorns, which are, considered non-edible foods for human consumption. Yeah, well, they survived very well on them. Had bread, candies made with sugar pine sap, and they had it pretty good, man. Simple. Yeah, you worked for it. You had to collect it, you had to go out, you had to do stuff through the day. But what you did accomplished something. And I think that's where society really lacks now. All these jobs that we do, they don't fulfill you because they don't have that sense of satisfaction in a job well done, aside from your own mental perception of the job you did? Well, that tends to break down very quickly and very easily, especially if somebody makes comments about how poorly you serviced them with serving their meal, or how poorly your security department does because it didn't find their lost phone, or how mean you were as a cashier at the grocery store when all you were trying to tell the person was that the coupon was expired. Like all these things that we as people get upset about that are so trivial, and yet we make the other person feel like it's all their fault that our life sucks. Because so much of what we do now is service oriented. It's about serving other people and all that. Another little road goes down a little ways. It's kind of a pretty one too. I walked it. It's a very short one though. So anyway, you can tell I'm kind of getting winded already. How long are we at? 6 minutes. And I'm just kind of babbling about nothing. Look at the views though. Pretty. And then we got this little road over here too. Some pretty little yellow flowers going on. Lots of them. So this one's a little more sticker covered. Anyway, today's talk wasn't about astrophysics or any of that kind of fun stuff that I love to philosophize about. Is that even a word, philosophize? I think so. But maybe not. Anyway, I like it, so I use it. It's just been kind of a release of pent-up feeling. Oh, there's a log. I think I'm going to sit on the log. No snakes. No snakes. So, sorry. I need to do more walking. I'm not keeping my breath as good as I should, especially if I'm doing these. I appreciate you joining me on my walks. Sorry this one was kind of a bleh, but I don't really think it's a bleh. I think it's just more of a, hey, let's all open our eyes a little bit and realize that, the lack of satisfaction we might be feeling in our life isn't because of, anything other than choices we make and what we do, where our society has placed us in a service-oriented industry where what we do in the day is we get up and go serve other people, not ourselves. We're not out there collecting stuff for us. We're not collecting firewood for our fire that night that keeps us warm and satisfies us because, hey, we did that, We didn't have dinner on berries that we went out and collected in the woods and different things like that, or an animal that we caught or fish that we caught, anything like that. That's satisfying. It's gratifying because we are getting to enjoy the successes of our labors. In today's world, in today's society, that's very rare. Most of us are serving other people all day long, and serving employers and serving the customers that enter wherever we work. And so we don't have that satisfaction at the end of the day of, I did this, I did that, and we're not experiencing that until we get a paycheck. And then once we get the paycheck, especially when life is kind of the way it is for me right now, most of that paycheck's already gone, and on what? What do I have to show for it? Not a whole lot, you know. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And so then we get upset that our lives are, you know, seem so empty and so hollow, because they kind of are. But I mean, they're not, as long as, you know, we're still doing something that, you know, that improves and stuff. You know, I mean, we can do hobbies where we're making, you know, making things or something like that, and that can satisfy us. But the true efforts of our existence are so not focused to us anymore, and I think that's where we lose a lot of our pride. Because really, if you look around, that's what I think a lot of people are missing, is the pride in their accomplishments, the pride in their abilities, their pride in who they are. And that's hard to build up when you're in a customer, you know, service oriented, and you're serving employers and serving customers and guests and all these things. How do you find that spot? Maybe that's a good question. Um, I think I find it by stuff that I'm able to do for my daughter. And I find it in doing things like this, where I'm out walking in nature and just remembering things, and being proud of what I remember, and being proud of what I learn, because that is something you definitely do for yourself. You know, when you learn something, when you learn that, you know, that's a manzanita bush over there, or you learn that, you know, um, what poison oak is, so you don't get all itchy. You know, all these things that you learn, no matter how trivial they are, you've learned them and you know them, and you can take pride in that. And maybe that's where we can kind of do that in today's society, is in the things we learn. You know, and maybe learn about foraging for some stuff, and maybe have a meal a week or a meal a month where it's based on what you foraged, what you got. You know, give you back that sense of, hey, I did this, you know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Appreciate y'all. I really do. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. We're at 12 minutes because I've just been babbling about the same stuff, but I've been sitting. At least I caught my breath. So, again, thank you all. Have a good one, man.